Good afternoon. I am Don Hartley, also known as the Catholic Defender, and we are still doing our little tour through Fort Hood's museum. And it's an opportunity to recall some of the stories in my 26 years in the military. My very first day I actually served on active duty. I had just went through basic training in Tank Hill, Fort Jackson, South Carolina. I went to AIT at Fort Sam Houston in San Antonio, Texas. And my first duty station was Fort Stewart, Georgia. And when I first arrived at Fort Stewart, Georgia, I signed into my new unit, and I was given a room, and I met my roommate, and my roommate basically wanted to take me out into the area to show me where you can go get some food, where you can go work out at the gym. In fact, we were at the gym, and this is getting close to dusk. It was still daylight, but it was coming on, nighttime was coming upon us quickly. It was more like dusk. And we're standing there at the gym, at the entrance of the gym, on the sidewalk, when up beyond, about 100 yards away, we heard about 5 or 6 black guys dressed in civilian uniform. I'm still in my BDUs at the time. And I'm basically standing out there with my roommate, and he's showing me where the gym was, and we're standing there on the sidewalk when these guys started walking upon us, and from a distance they saw us, and as they were walking upon us, they started calling us, white trash, honkies, and different kinds of names, which, was a surprise to me. This was my very first day on active duty. And so I had just, this was all new to me because I was not used to this environment. And here they come walking upon us with all these names. And so this was the first time that I had a chance to see something like this. And as they walked upon us, I started to turn around to say, "How's it going?" And as I said, "How's it?" that's when one of them did a haymaker, hit me in the mouth. Totally by surprise. I wasn't expecting, nor did I see it coming. And when he hit me with enough force that it knocked my hat off onto my hands. He didn't knock me down. He didn't really jab me that hard, but he did with enough force to knock my hat into my hands. And it took me by surprise. I wasn't expecting that. And so here I am holding my hat in my hands, and then they started jeering at us, they started making fun of us, they started laughing at me, which was kind of a this was a total surprise to me. I wasn't expecting nothing like this, nor had I experienced anything like this before. And I'd already had almost 4 years of college in boxing. I was 23-0 in boxing. And so this was something that was totally unexpected. And when I got hit, then they started jeering at us. And because of their jeering, other people that were around the area started gathering around, and a lot of people was wanting to see a fight. "Go get him, get him, get him." And so there was a lot of this kind of taunting that was taking place. And I'm like, this is amazing, this is just freaking me out. I had not seen or heard of anything like this before in my experience. And so here it is, and it was upon us. There was a real threat. And as people were egging it on, the crowd started gathering. Finally, a point took place where I just basically had enough. And I walked through that crowd up to the guy that punched me in the mouth, and I basically reached out my hand and I said, "I am a follower of Jesus Christ, and I forgive you in the name of Jesus Christ." And I reached out and he shook my hand. And with that, I left the scene and the whole thing dissolved. And it reminds me of a story, what Jesus said. he says in Matthew chapter 5, verse 38 to 39, he says, you've heard, you've been told an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. And he goes on, he teaches that, well, if someone wants to do evil to you, do not resist him. If he hits you in your right cheek, give him your left cheek. And so it's kind of an opportunity that I was able to actually live this out literally. And it dissolved the situation, and it's kind of a memory. But, you know, throughout my military career, oftentimes I have been asked, being a strong Catholic, a Catholic defender, which you will see us on www.deepertruthblog.com, and our articles and our videos and what have you. And what was asked of me a lot of times was, how can you be committed to your Catholic faith and also then being strong in the military? How can you, get this whole thing, thou shalt not kill? And so a lot of people were kind of confused by how can you be a strong, dedicated Christian and also be somebody who stands up for your country. And really, when you look at what thou shalt not kill really designates, it really speaks to thou shalt not murder. It doesn't say anything about defending your country or defending your buddy. And so, when it comes right down to it, you can be patriotic. And in fact, in the Old Testament, you see many, many signs where the Old Testament, the Lord fought on behalf of the Israelites. And I'll even make a point that of the people that Jesus honors in the New Testament, it was a centurion that Jesus honored the highest. When a centurion came to Jesus, asking him to heal or to come to heal one of his servants, the Lord basically told him that you can, you don't have to come to my house. All you have to do is just basically say it and it will happen. Because he was a man of authority, he understood. And Jesus said, "No faith have I have not seen this faith anywhere in Israel." And so he recognized the faith of the centurion. And then, once you had the faith of the centurion, then you had the circumstance with John the Baptist. When it came to the soldiers, the only thing he told the soldiers about was, do not complain about your pay and about justice. Do not be unjust to those that you serve. And so with that, we want to encourage people to pray for our troops, pray for our military, and to keep them, those who are at the tip of the spear, keep them, in your prayers because they need it. And so with that, we want to thank you for supporting deepertruthblog.com and to following the stories that we're giving. And we just want to let people know we thank you very much. And so with that, until the next time, we will say good evening and God bless.